Hi, get 10. Went to South Africa. That's like it. Tell us what a power cut will be from 8 to 10. And then now, get 10. And I'm just like, and you wonder why South Africa has got the second highest suicide rate next to no one but Russia in the world. Anyway, whatever. Do you? This country is judged. And, you know, the videos, the batch, Iki and saying, I don't know how many parts it was. I think it's 34. The one prior to this one, I spoke about the cursedness, the judged state of South Africa, and how I don't understand why God keeps on pouring down rain in a country that is rebellious against him, and how it is that I feel it's literally to hand them over to the reprobate mind, to make them think that they're good, until finally fire and brimstone falls. I don't understand how a country can literally watch this level of insanity unfold on the ground and do nothing. Bophelo baka is a travesty. That's just a sorrowful thing. Family go fail and if I turn to the occult, it can't be just my family. It's occult by so many people and family members, and they are happy to do anything to get ahead. Your knees dili ashy because that same girl that with whom you were that tight or prepared sisters, for real, just like that. I'm prepared or Motateng should pass away just so you can get a deal, a recording deal, a label. Because when I was member ya Illuminati, usiras, o company, cousin ya gago mine, cousin ya gago ntombi ra tlhokafala le godile le close jana. Just like that. Like the sanctity of human life nowhere to be found. Matthew 24, it is written therein that in the last days, people, because of an increase in lawlessness, among the lawless feats of which are indeed just that, witchcraft, because of an increase in lawlessness, the love of many is going to grow cold. So you can fathom audacity, okay? Human sacrifice ritual, just so you can get a recording label as a rapper. Just so you can get a promotion in a job that you don't deserve. Anyway, we have rapped on about that sufficiently enough. I feel as if though it is now time for me to start talking about the ritual that this chick did, death kiss. In the earlier part, or no, it wasn't a krivai, sorry, but it was similar to a krivai, tricycle, and Moharam, there was like a white man in there, Ona being pulled by somebody that was riding this tricycle. And this white man looked like my cousin. Like white hair, like, right, with white skin. But he had the face of my cousin, and they were encircling, going around in circles, on where I was in the center of this circle that they were riding this tricycle on the tracks of, and in the center of this circle was a pentagram, and I was in the center of the pentagram, and my cousin was busy staring at me, looking at me, chewing bubblegum. Now, why was she chewing bubblegum in that dream? First of all, that was a death curse. That was a seance, a ritual to keep me. They were doing, okay, first of all, the white men, the tricycle. What is God showing me with that? My cousin was behind, almost like in a Goharak Rivai, inside this tricycle that was being ridden by this, it was a cult, a coven. She's currently in Europe. So the witchcraft that she has sought, it wasn't Isangomaya Lions, and God used Difatleho essentially. These are the members of the coven that have effected this curse on her behalf. She has taken us some money and paid what I understand to be a coven made up of largely white men. And so Njebe Ekeboning was to show me who is doing this ritual, and her face being on that man was God showing me that she's the one that paid him to do that ritual. And the nature of the ritual is one where they drew a pentagram, a large one, on the floor, and I get it, this man was driving a tricycle around this what do you call this pentagram? I believe what it is that tricycle resembles, and it going around was God showing me that it is okay, fine. So this guy was driving around. This is me trying to interpret it, right? He was showing me that it's a whole bunch of witches around. They are around, and they keep on going around, chanting around what would be occult, or not occult paraphernalia, sorry, but something that represents me in the center. So maybe a photo or a video in a USB or whatever, Yako YouTube, something that represents me, that is in the center of this ritual, and this cult is this chanting going around and around and around and around. As for the tricycle, literally I don't understand what that's about. It could have been a bicycle, it could have been a car, but instead the Lord used a tricycle. Somebody who belongs to the occult might potentially be able to explain to me what the relevance of a tricycle is, but this chick, this cousin of mine, was being carried on the back, on the canopy of this tricycle by the person who was riding it mobile. A ritual to sacrifice impilo yam. I would never have known that it was a death curse unless I saw the next dream and vision that God would give me, and unless I got the dream, the reverberation or the reiteration of a funeral of this one young guy back in the day that passed away. Unless the Lord has shown me that spirit of death attached also to my cousin, I would not have been able to figure out what that ritual was. I know that it's death because of that ritual and the next dream that God gave me from there. So this one, tricycle. Please, the only thing that I can't understand there is the tricycle, okay? It could have been any other form of locomotive, but they chose a tricycle. Like, yeah, that was represented. A ritual, a seance being performed by a coven in Europe somewhere, largely made up of white men, and their client was my cousin, is my cousin, and the intention for it is my death, and I have been put in the center of some kind of a pentagram in this little seance. The, what do you call this thing? The next dream. My cousin, a ram. She was a ram. She was a ram. Like chiskopo. Guys, when you shave your head, there's stubble on your head to display, or there's still hair underneath it that can grow, right? Chiskopo ya was like to display a lack of glory. The Bible says that the glory of a woman is in her hair. She had each chiskopo that looked like my face, displaying that hair will never ever grow back again. Like a bald man who will never get hair growing again doesn't have stubble. It's just cheese. She had chiskopeso, and then she was a ram. Literally, it was my cousin, but she was a ram, an animal, the animal of which was a ram, and it had 2 curly horns. And mochudima chiskope was a pentagram, and there was also a pentagram on her forehead. Pentagram on her forehead, pentagram on the top of her head, drawn, and she had ram horns. Guys, the Bible calls the unregenerate goats. Just so you can understand the danger that my cousin is facing of being essentially just finished off perpetually, eternally. She is being looked at by God like she is Baphomet himself. The curly horns, it just gave Baphomet vibes. The pentagram here and here, it gave sealed with the mark of the beast. It gave reprobate vibes to me. It literally chills. And in Chiskopo gave glory of a woman gone, period. Fact that she was a ram gave DNA of God in you as a human being gone. That's what the occult does to you as a person. Kimone ile Baphometic goat looking ram thing ya di horns ya Chiskopo le pentagram on the forehead and on top mohudima tlhogomone. She had the body of a ram, but it was her. She's basically an animal in the sight of God. She is as good as dead. I don't even know how to get in a situation ill. She is in a lot of trouble. And something tells me death is impending her. She's gonna die and go to hell, and I don't know how I'm gonna feel about that. Guys, I keep on standing in the gap for my family. I don't just come here to complain. Kibua in a very fleshy carnal sense on some 8 years young I've been standing in the gap. Faster, and I stand in the gap for people. I dedicate people to God. So it shows I am full God. No matter how much God tugs away at Intlizio, I'm Zama, I guys in Instead, that's a cult, a coven in Europe, money to kill me, kill all the way in South Africa. And a whole coven did a seance around me chanting about it, kill in the center of a pentagram. And I believe that was when God was like, you know what, enough is enough. Right now, as I'm sitting, Lana, the level of affliction, of suicide ideation that is in me is out of this world. I literally want to die. I feel like dying. And this overwhelmed me 2 nights ago, just when I started getting these dreams. This is how the occult operates. I'm gonna conquer this. I'm gonna be okay. Suicide curses. And every time after 2 or 3 days of prayer, it just lifts off me. So I'm pretty sure even my doubt of God right now and the desire to die right now, because my people perish for a lack of knowledge, and since I have knowledge, I guess I don't perish. But what of the one who just sent me this wickedness? Next part.